Alright, gonna show you guys the startup procedure for our Palazzani TSJ-82 here. So you can see I already have our outrigger swung out and pinned into position. Then we'll go ahead and go over here and turn the left key on. Make sure our emergency stops out, and you're gonna see the Palazzani screen power up. To work the controls down here, we're gonna want to make sure that the key is in the center position for track drive right now. And I'm going to turn the key on the side of our wireless remote. Make sure the emergency stop is out. And we're going to hold the green button on the side. Flick the connection switch. You can see we're going to get a green light that turns on. Lets us know we're connected to the machine. And then you can start it either on the side of the remote here. There's a start and engine stop. Or you can start it with the key down below. So with the key in the center position right now, we're in driving mode. Just going to show you guys how that works here. So drives just like a tank. You have forward and reverse. And then the unique feature Palazzani has, while I'm driving, if I hold this toggle switch to the right and keep holding it, now I can drive with just one hand. So you're going to see when I do that, our assisted traveling turns on right here, and that means just one joystick controls forward and reverse. You can see driving in a straight line. To turn that off, we push this green FN button right here for function. It's going to go to parking movements, then go back to traveling, and now our controls are back to drive like normal. Once we've reached the position that we're trying to get to, we're going to go into outrigger leveling. So take this key switch, turn it to the right. You can see that photo there is for our outriggers. And now our screen says stabilizers enabled. If we are going to use the automatic function to level the machine, couple options. First one, you can use the buttons on the back of the machine. So you see, if I hold it down, they're all going to go down. Or you can go on the remote. If you look on the bottom of your remote, you have outrigger control functions in the joysticks as well. So your dead man switch for outriggers, for auto leveling, up and down is your far right. And then one of these joysticks. So if I hit the far left one, I can go up and down, and that's my auto leveling with the remote. Just make sure you're holding the dead man switch. Then if you want to do manual leveling, you would flip to manual. Again, hold up the right joystick, and then each one of them will run an outrigger individually for you to set up or pick up on a slope. So I'm just going to go back to auto here though, and then show you guys the auto leveling. Again, hold down the switch. We're going to auto level. And what we want to do is wait till it stops adjusting. It's going to go up, and you're going to hear it bypass. In the event that it's not level, I'm just going to take it out of level a little. It might do it more than once to get your degrees low enough. So see, it did it a second time. You're going to want to wait till you hear the pump bypass. And now if you look at our screen, we're down to 0.2 and 0.4 degrees. So at this point, if we were going to go up in the basket, we would switch back to our turret. And now the boom controls would be active so that we can raise up and get the basket on. But I want to show you guys how to drive from down here and actually run the functions for getting it on and off a trailer. So let's say we're done now and I have it stowed. I'm going to go ahead and raise my outriggers up. So again, far left joysticks running my auto leveling. You can see I'm in auto level. Now while we're in the center here, it does put it to track drive, so you can see traveling enabled. If we push this FN button, it now says parking movements. What parking movements does is it gives you the ability to raise and lower the boom and stow the jib so you can get on and off a trailer or approach a hill. So I'll show you guys here. You can see I can lower the boom arm down or raise it as needed. And I can do the same with the jib, which is the second function in for getting it onto our trailer. So then when we are ready to go, now we can go ahead and we can park it on our trailer. In this case, we're going to get to putting the basket on and show you guys how the upper controls work. So we're going to go ahead and level the machine again. And I'll use the auto leveling here just so you guys can see how that works. And then to go over to the basket side, let's go like this, and then we're going to go ahead and raise the boom up. So I just leave that key in the center position is boom functions once stabilized and track drive on the ground. So right now my controls are active to run the boom functions so I can get the basket on. Now we're going to turn the engine off and then go ahead and get our basket on. Alright, so we got our basket on here. Just want to take a reminder, you can see I don't have our wing nuts on here. We want to make sure these are tightened down, so get those tightened into place. You guys don't need to sit and watch me do that. And then make sure we put our retaining nuts on those. Then, because the basket's removable, there's one cable we got to connect. Grab the cable. Make sure there's no sawdust in it. Put that bad boy on. And then we're going to connect up our well-built equipment foot pedal. Nice big beefy guy so you can fit your huge shoes in there. Clip that in. Alright. Make sure the emergency stop's off so I don't have to walk back up. Alright, so we're down here at the base now. I'm going to go ahead and turn my remote on. Make sure we're connected and I got the green light. Fire the lift up. And I just want to show you now, because I didn't tighten them, boom disabled, cage not connected. And that's because we didn't tighten the basket down on the boom. So once we get that tightened on, that message will disappear and then we'll get aerial functions. Alright, so now we're back at the lower controls. I just want to show you with the basket tightened and secured properly. Boom enable, ground control panel. So we have our key in the center position. If we were going to operate this from down below, we'd start it up. And then you can run every aerial function from down here. So this would be part of our function test we're going to do at the startup of every day. Make sure everything works before we go up in the machine. Make sure we got extension. And retract. And make sure we got turntable rotate too. Alright. Basket rotate. We're going to go ahead and bring her back down. And we'll put on our harness and climb into the basket. Alright, so once we did our function test, we're going to go ahead and turn the remote off. Stow it out of the way or in the cab, depending on where you want to put it. Switch over to boom controls. That's the far left key switch for the basket. And you're going to see our switch moves to boom enable cage control panel. And you can see this shows our degrees for being set up level-wise. This lets us know how far we are out into the range chart, our fuel, and then what the weight in the basket is. I'm just going to show you guys real quick then. In our diagnostic screen, we can see pretty much everything on the machine. So sensors, inputs and outputs, CAN bus system, all green checks, that means everything's connected. For control panel, this is actually our wireless remote, and you can see our wireless remote's off. There's a little green light right here. If I turn on our wireless remote, and that green light's going to light up. So if your wireless remote's not working, a good indicator would be to check that little green light all the way to the left, see if you're connected. Just go down through the menu, maneuvers, making sure they work. These are inputs and outputs for our engineers. And then when you want to get out of it, you just hit the X up here, and it goes back to your boom operations screen. So I'm going to flip over to the basket, and then let's go for a ride. On the deadman pedal, and then you can see it runs two functions at once. Nope, you can even rotate while I'm going up with two booms. Far to the side we can go, just so you get an idea. Reaches at a low height here.